Mudubaki, coming in from Detroit, Michigan. I've been in the psychedelic space for about 2.5 decades now.
I'm here with Soma from Silly Girls.
Hello.
Soma, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Super glad to be here. Glad to chat with you guys today.
My name is Victor Alfonso Cabral. I am a licensed social worker and psychedelic therapist.
My name is Autumn Tribbett. I am the clinical systems manager at MAPS Public Benefit Corporation.
My name's Aize Jama Everett. I live in Oakland, represent Oakland. And I did a documentary called A Table of Our Own about Black people and psychedelics that premiered here at the Psychedelic Science Conference.
My name's Elijah, and I'm here at Denver, based in Denver. I'm here at Psychedelic Science, and I'm loving the space that the medicine brings together.
The title of the film that I'm working on, that we're working on, is We Are the Medicine. And for me personally, the way that I like to reach my community is by modeling and by being out in the space, by talking about things, and by educating and providing that information. And so here, when we have those conversations as a group, we're really co-creating spaces that allow the folks that are doing this work in the space to come in and talk about what they're doing, how they're doing it, how can we collaborate, how can we create spaces that meet our needs rather than trying to morph other spaces into what we want them to look like. But then it also creates a safe space for people who aren't in the psychedelic space and that can come in. So I was just at the A Table of Our Own, which is another amazing documentary that was just premiered. And there were folks in there who have no connection to the psychedelic space and were just like well received in the room and everyone embraced them. And so like that's what it's about. It's about community. It's about the ways in which we already engage with each other and really making sure that folks feel safe in their exploration and able to ask questions and feel like they're part of something and not an outsider coming in, as we so often feel in other spaces that aren't BIPOC centered.
As the psychedelic space as a whole hasn't understood Black people as being more than just victims or people who need access, but in actuality we have this use of plant medicine, of psychedelics in our culture, and it's been part of us the entire time. So instead of learning from us, instead of growing with us, they're taking a different route. And once again, like so many things in America, it looks like it's built on white supremacy. It looks like it only cares about, what works for middle-class white people who can afford treatment. So we're here to say, maybe that's not the best way to move forward in the future. If you don't want a repeat of the 70s where shit just got shut down because there was just a fringe bunch of white people doing stuff, it might make sense to include more people of color, especially Black people.
I have a bachelor's of science in chemistry, and I have over 20 years of experience in clinical trial research, mainly focused in cancer research. Through my company, I was able to attend Psychedelic Science 2023, and on top of that, I brought my husband, and we both have been attending talks and seminars about just the science, the education, the culture, the research in this industry. And we've been having talks about how we're going to behave differently with our children at home. The empathy that has just grown even more towards just our society and humanity, and just excited about the future of this sector, of the psychedelic sector.
We have this opportunity to uplift all of these voices that have been screaming in the background, right? We have this knowledge, and that's what I learned, like learning the Indigenous tradition, is that hundreds, thousands of years old this wisdom is. So we have to recapture that and make sure that that's platformed right along with all of the new innovations, all the new technologies, that we know that this is not new, We've known this is in our DNA, so we're just bringing it back. So yeah, I think that's just very important to represent that knowledge base is within us, especially people of color.
Yeah.
It's something that, that's why the drug war started, right? Because we relied on all these substances to get through life, to heal, to, just be ourselves on this planet. And that was demonized, thrown in jail for relying on the tools that Earth gave us. So we want that to end, right? We don't want to perpetuate the system that made that possible. And so this is our opportunity to Let's make a change. Let's represent that knowledge and make sure that people are aware that, we're here, we've always been here, and now we're back even stronger.
If we're trying to heal the community, don't you think that that's who we need to consult with first? Is who do you feel like we can come to? Not, like I said, not the person who's paid to get this privilege. You know what I mean? This should be organic. If we're looking to heal community, we should consult with community. And I do think that is it shouldn't be about capitalism at the end of the day. It shouldn't be about money. I feel like with what we're doing, we're extorting community. Trials up in Oregon are costing $3,500 for a 4-gram treatment. That's a serious problem. I don't know too many people that have $3,500 that they have to expel for a 6-hour trip. So that's extortion, and that's going to be the amount of people that are going to be able to take care of this, or that are going to be able to be have access, is going to be very, very small.
To be quite blunt, when I go into these workshops, their knowledge level is about a decade behind most people on the ground. And all due respect to most of the presenters, I haven't been at all the workshops, but the ones I have, we can understand that this is new to the business community, but it's old to a lot of us, and we have a lot to share. But it's good to see this intermixed. I realize it's a reality. Business capitalism is going to exist in America, and the ostrich approach will not work. So we need to have feet on the ground, have an understanding of how businesses are going to approach this, and also have an understanding of how we're going to approach it. How are we going to balance this message when every 30 seconds there's a commercial for microdose relief and at every CVS next to the register? How are we going to balance the education of people to make sure that they use this not in a palliative way? And so that's the other thing. We know that we live with a myriad of political, social issues in this country. And that represents another concern I have, because the approach is palliative. It's like, I'll show you how to live better under oppressive conditions. Or I'll show you how to look the other way when we see massive economic gaps that are widening by the day. Or I'll show you to look the other way when we see massive political corruption and disregard of entire communities. If you pop these pills, you'll just feel better about it all. And so that's what's disingenuous about it. Ultimately, the goal is to awaken spirit. I don't want to prolong the ideology. We understand, those of us who do the work, that we still have to continue to do the work of educating, of grounding people in a proper approach, and of keeping our focus on the best and brightest of human development, because we have to be more than we are now. So the current human operating system is like Windows 95. It's outdated, it's full of bugs, and it doesn't even compact with the reality we're living in. So we're looking to upgrade our hardware as human beings. But I can't convince every human community. So I start where I'm at in my community. And through working in my community, hopefully we can do things and help work with other communities, and we can influence the whole situation.